Everybody, how's it going? It's Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. It is March 22nd. We are 4 days away from opening day, and the Phillies have made a flurry of moves and deals over the last few days, and we have a lot to talk about. This episode was originally planned to kind of be like a season preview, but we are going to table that for now and return to it early in the week. But here to talk about everything that's happened, we have the co-host of this podcast, SJ Phillies fan, Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy?
Yeah, I did not expect us to have to do 2 more episodes before the season starts, but apparently the Phillies just decided to do a crap ton today. Although today alone, in the past, it is 11:36 Eastern time. That what's been done today could be a podcast, honestly.
Yeah, we have a lot to get through. Um, and let's start with what's probably going to be the biggest discussion point of the day, and that is the extension that Christopher Sanchez signed with the Phillies. They have essentially ripped up his old contract, and they have a new 6-year deal that begins next year in 2027. And now it goes through 2032 with a club option for 2033. Essentially, what this is doing is it's like adding $60 million and 2 years to the deal. I think that will cover Christopher Sanchez's age 34 and age 35 season, which is crazy. That he older than I realized. Like, I didn't realize Sanchez was already 29. But what was your initial reaction to this deal, Jeremy?
It's not surprising because he, 3 years, a couple up and downs, not really sticking with the team, and they probably broke out. But, I'm not surprised, honestly. I was, expecting something like this to happen because you can imagine him having the year he had. Lozano gets paid that much. Be like, "Yo, guys, I know, I just signed, but, come on."
Yeah,
So,
it's it's an interesting deal, right? I mean, the deal that he had previously, he had $47 million remaining on that deal if the options were exercised, which they pretty much would. So this is kind of essentially adding like that 2 by 30 on top of it for like age 34 and 5, or maybe it's 35 and 36. Uh, the agent of Christopher Sanchez said, quote, John and Dave stepped up and decided to reward Christopher with a deal more than consummate, whatever that word is, with his abilities, even though the club still had 5 years of control at minimal dollars. It's really unprecedented, end quote. Um, and that to me is where I run into problems with this deal. Sanchez had a great contract, kind of going through his prime. You don't know what any player is going to look like by the time that they're 35. And I don't necessarily want to sign up for paying him $30 million at age 35 when we didn't have to. When we had him through age 33, it was like a perfect contract. Honestly, paying him pennies on the dollar. But here's the thing. If a player's hurt all year, they are not returning the team that money. If a player sucks, if, the Ryan Howard extension that went so terribly for the Phillies, he did not return money for the Phillies because he was not, performing to his abilities. Um, Contracts in baseball, sometimes they really favor the team, and sometimes they really favor the player. When you have a contract that really favors the team, you got to take advantage of that and build around that so that you can be a winning team. And I don't think this is a winning organization move.
yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, 'cause yeah, it sets the press. There's 2 sides of it. One, it could look really good to attract players, be like, "Yo, we reward our guys that do this well," but on the other side, it kind of incentivizes the selfish side of humanity, be like, "Yo, he got an extension because he got an extension. Where's my extension because he got an extension?"
That's so true. One of the first things I thought about was like Bryce Harper has been sometimes more aggressively, but it's been pretty clear that Bryce Harper has been trying to get an extension from the Phillies for a few years now. Don't you think this could upset him further?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, yeah, because Harper was like, but I think the difference was Harper's money was also, shit, yes, it was the lower annual, but, Sanchez's deal was so cheap. I think you could be like, they could argue like, hey, if you were making this much below the market of what you were making, we would be open to it. But
Right.
so, but I say like I'm not gonna be around the bush. The professional athletes aren't the most critical thinkers when it comes to this kind of stuff. So they don't probably care about they don't care about the economics and the fairness. They just want the money all the time. So
Right. No,
yeah,
that's totally fair. Um, what I think is like really interesting about this whole thing now is you have now Trey Turner. Like feels like Bryce Harper just signed with the Phillies, but Christopher Sanchez now has a deal that goes longer than Bryce Harper's. Jesus Luzardo now has a deal that goes longer than Bryce Harper's, at least when you add in like the option. Trey Turner has a deal that's going on longer than Bryce Harper. Like before we know it, like it's kind of wild, but like this, like Bryce Harper contract is genuinely mostly done at this point. And we have multiple guys on the team that are going to be here longer than Bryce Harper, barring some kind of Harper extension.
yeah. But I mean, at this point, Harper doesn't deserve an extension.
No, no. I mean, I think one of like the bigger concerns people have for the year is like how is Bryce Harper going to like mentally handle things this year? Um, and we'll see. But
I know he seems adamant that he's going to walk more this year, but I know it's still spring training some games, but I still see him swing at bad pitches. So
yeah, I mean that goal is crazy, right? Like what do you say? Like 150, 160 walks was
yeah,
his goal.
yeah, he's only done like that like once, right? Let's see.
150, 160 walks feels like crazy for
I
one
know.
player.
So yeah, his career high in walks is 2018 with 130.
Yeah, yeah,
So and then in his insane MVP year when he was 22, it was 124. Which I mean, 100 plus walks I would take with a heartbeat. But like, come on, man,
yeah.
you,
How many
you
did he
can't
have
do that
last
in
year
your
by chance?
70,
70. Okay, so it's
132 games.
that's pretty wild.
But like, it's just so fascinating. A crappy Harper year is still a really good year.
Yeah, no, he was not like the reason the Phillies struggled last year. Was he as good as maybe he could have been? Like, no, but he was still a productive player that helped the Phillies. Here's something fun that I just found. There are four players who have had 160 walk seasons in baseball. Do you want to guess who they are?
Wait, how many?
Four.
Okay, but this is it like four different players or four of the same player? Because
Four
obviously
different
the first
players.
answer,
There's been more than four seasons.
yeah,
There's been
okay, yeah, I
seven
know. Because
seasons for
obviously,
four players.
yeah, okay, obviously Barry Bonds.
Yep.
Um, hmm, what's the threshold? 140,
160.
160. Okay, Barry Bonds. Uh, walk. Pujols?
Not Pujols, no.
Yeah, no, no. Root?
Ruth, yep. Ruth is second. Barry Bonds had a season of 232, 198,
Yeah,
177. Babe Ruth had a
Barry Bonds number.
170 walk season.
Yeah, Pujols is literally cheat code.
Yeah, two more.
Okay. Uh, okay. Is one of are any of them play the same time around Bonds, or are they older than Bonds?
One of them played around the same time as Bonds, yeah.
God, I'm trying to think of that.
I'd say he's
Right.
known for mostly being on the Cardinals, or at least in like kind of certain ways he's known for being on the Cardinals. Other ways he's known for being on the
Well,
A's.
that's McGuire.
Yeah, McGuire.
Okay, I thought, but I was like,
McGuire had 162, and then this guy, not plays, an older player, mostly known for being on the Red Sox.
yeah,
For
I was gonna
only
say Ted Williams then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ted Williams. Those are the list of guys that have had 160 walk seasons. The closest anybody's been in like very recent MLB history is Juan Soto, who in 2021 had 145 walks.
Jeez.
I don't think Bryce Harper is suddenly going to be walking more than Juan Soto.
No.
But good goal to have. I don't want to knock the effort there.
No, I mean Harper's yeah, he's had a 90 like a 99 and 100 with us already. So like
Right.
he's capable, but yeah.
Kind of going off of the Harper stuff. The World Baseball Classic. We haven't talked since the World Baseball Classic ended, and we had that like actually quite good championship game between Venezuela and the United States, with Venezuela coming on top. Um, do you have like any kind of final thoughts on the World Baseball Classic now that it is done?
Yeah, I think the reason I'm always so down on it is just like, yeah, Team USA just like every time someone hits a home run on the other countries, they're like so excited. Team USA, Harper's home run showed he tied the game in the bottom of the eighth with two out, and no emotion from anyone on the team.
Except for him, he showed emotion to his credit.
Yeah, but still, I like jumping. Like I expected more. I don't know. It just was,
Yeah,
yeah. But it's also pretty funny, like with the past two World Baseball Classics, all the final runs in the finals are by Phillies. Something like
yeah, no,
that.
it is pretty strange. Um, I actually did not watch that final of the World Baseball Classic game live. It is a weird tournament. I've had a hard time getting into it because of like the weird like rules in which how many pitches pitcher can pitch. I think that the tournament was like tilted a little bit in the US's favor in a lot of little ways. Like I think it was tough for Japan to
Yeah.
like have to fly from Japan to the US and play like 2 or 3 days later or something like that. Like it makes sense why
Yeah.
that would eliminate Japan. The U.S. got like an extra off day before the championship game that Venezuela or Italy, if Italy won, wouldn't have had. Like it's just the whole thing. It didn't feel like the most uh, competitive, and like you were saying, it didn't feel like the U.S. team actually cared all that much, and it was a little bit not entertaining to watch because of that.
Yeah, no, but my favorite this is my favorite thing are people just like, oh, like obviously DeRosa memed on for being an idiot with not knowing how like the tiebreaker rules work. But
Yeah,
people are like, oh, DeRosa got to like, these guys did nothing. DeRosa needs to be fired because they couldn't score runs. I'm just like, these are Bryce. You really need a manager of Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge to teach them how to score runs. That's like the dumbest take possible.
yeah. I mean,
Manager,
at the end of the day, the teams are the ones that really have to say. If the teams don't want a pitcher to be pitching, or if he's not going to pitch, right? Like that's kind of what happened with the whole Screwball thing. At the end of the day, DeRosa's job, number one job, was to just do what the teams wanted to do. And if he did that, then like I think he wasn't obviously not putting all the chips in to win. Nobody really was in this like essentially preseason tournament that didn't mean anything. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously he's an idiot for not knowing that the U.S. team hadn't already clinched. It was objectively funny.
yeah, I just think it's hilarious. Like, yeah, the manager, like people like the manager is not the reason why his team of that many star players couldn't score runs. Like, what? Come
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Um, some other Phillies news: their roster for opening day has been announced. Christopher Sanchez is going to be the starter. That was announced a couple of days ago. He'll get his, I think, is this his first opening day start, or did
yeah,
he get one
yeah,
last
because
year
we've
too?
had Wheeler like every year.
Yeah, Wheeler was still last year. Yeah, you're right. So it's Christopher Sanchez's first opening day start. Um, Not really any huge surprises about who made the team. Um, Jichiro Muto is obviously the catcher. Marchand will be the backup. No stubs on the opening day roster. Obviously, we know who starts on the infield. And Budo Sosa is obviously there. Dylan Moore made the team as like a utility guy. Justin Crawford made the team. No surprise there. Expected to be our opening day center fielder, batting ninth. Otto Kemp will be platooning with Brandon Marsh in left field. Andrew Painter made the roster, and he will be the fifth starter to start the season. And then in the bullpen, Kerkering is IL'd to start the year. Same with Max Lazar. So these are two guys that might have made, in Kerkering's case, it definitely would have made this roster, but because of their injuries, they will not. So the bullpen will start being Duran, Keller, Alvarado, Banks, Bolin, Pop, Backus, and Tim Meza. What are your thoughts on the roster? Anything here really stand out to you, Jeremy?
I mean, I can't believe we kept so many lefties and gave up McCambly.
Yeah, I mean, McCambly kind of did suck in spring training though. And for those that are curious, with McCambly, that was
Rule
the
five
Rule
pick.
5 player that we took this year. We are returning him to I don't remember what team. I think the Marlins.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are also going to be getting back Griff McGarry. He is not going to stick in Washington, so he'll be returning to the Phillies farm system.
I just yeah I don't know. We don't need that many lefties, and McCambly. Look, I Rule five guys. I've always liked Rule five guys.
Same.
Try them out for a little bit. But then Dylan Moore, I think it's dumb. We don't need a. We have Sosa and Kemp who could play the infield.
Right.
Moore's deep, like we don't need another guy that can't hit to cover infield. It's Villa Cruz was hitting. I would have liked to see him. Yeah, I don't understand the fascination with Moore.
I think I would have rather seen De La Cruz than Kemp. Now, I believe De La Cruz. So Dylan Moore kind of forced the Phillies' hands here, right? Like,
Yeah, he
um,
activated. Yeah, that.
he activated a clause that said they had to activate it within a couple days and put him on, like, I think the 40 man. And if not, he was to be a free agent. Um, Brian De La Cruz, I think, has a similar clause in his contract from what I've seen, but that doesn't activate for like another 2 months. So really, the Phillies don't have to worry about that until the end of May. Um, so I guess it's not like super pertinent, but come May, if Kemp is kind of just being so-so or not producing, I want to see De La Cruz here because we can just option Kemp, and I think that's how we can keep depth and kind of keep future optionality.
Yeah, but also like I think also like chances Del Cruz being breakout or low, and Kemp is their guy. So I understand not trusting a guy to like be good when he's not been good.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. One thing that like really sticks out to me looking at like the bullpen, um, is just how different it is from last year. I think the team is pretty much the same. They are running it back. I think despite what maybe Rob Thompson is trying to convince us. But this bullpen, especially without Kirkring, it is truly a lot different. Um, is it better? I don't know if I'm as convinced of that as other people are. But it is different. There are some guys that give you funky looks, and I'm at least looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely interesting. And like like the wherever MLB released their top lineups, Phillies rated eighth today.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
take that with what you will.
One guy that did not make the roster is Garrett Stubbs, who the Phillies have kind of been playing around all over the field. He's gotten some work in the outfield. He's played some games and made some decent plays at third base. Um, since he did not make the major league team, he is out of options. He is going to be on waivers automatically. So any team is free to claim Garrett Stubbs if they are so inclined. Um, which I mean, they would have to pay him a decent amount of money with the way that the Phillies structured his deal. Um, but it's kind of the nature of the beast, right? Like the optionality. He's out of options after last season. And it'll be interesting to see if somebody takes Garrett Stubbs because I feel like the state of catching is not in a good place, and Stubbs is not like a world beater. He is, I think, a competent enough backup catcher.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just like maybe they're just hoping he like comes. They're like, come on, man, just retire and become a coach with us. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, we'll give you like a nice salary to be a coach. But
Mhm.
how much do baseball coaches even make? Actually, now that I think about it, like managers, I think make a
No,
couple million. But if you're
yeah,
like the infield coach, how much are you making? You know,
yeah, because those will count towards any kind of cap. So no one
interesting.
really reports on them.
Yeah. Um. So, anything else kind of on this roster? Are you excited at all that like Painter and Crawford officially made the team, or is it kind of just like to you, we knew this all along?
That was inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. It'll be cool to see. I think
Yeah,
for all
no,
of
yeah.
the
Was the last time we had like two rook 0% time rookies make the team?
top 100 prospects too, both of them.
Yeah.
I think there's reasons to be optimistic or doubt either. I don't think any opinion is necessarily wrong. We'll see how it plays out, but it is some excitement, and it is something different. So I have to give them some credit for that.
No, I mean, yeah, and it just I don't know, like, didn't notice this because I was busy yesterday, but they had the second spring breakout, which is just like they let top prospects play against other top prospects and televise it. Gage Wood started yesterday and did decently.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
think the spring breakout,
Obermuller
like in
too.
past years, has been so exciting because the Phillies have had prospects that we've like been excited to see them play. But like if you look at like the roster that the Phillies had, um, it's pretty bad. And
No,
it goes,
game 1 was bad. No, yesterday's game was r if you look at yesterday's game, it had, like, the pitchers, you had Obermuller, Wood, it actually held the pitchers that you wanted.
I mean, these are still not like top 100 guys. Like I think
Yet.
like Obermueller is like the 10th best prospect in the organization. Gage Wood is like number 4 or 5, I think, according to MLB Pipeline. Um,
But Fritz says Obermuller is like a smaller Mueller, less explosive Josh Hader.
Yeah. Let's hope so. I mean, I would take that if that was the case. But like the lineup, I think, is where you really see like the guys in the lineup are like, who are these people, right? I'm
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
find the
Well, like, the
lineup if
first
I
thing
can.
you had Escobar and Nori play and, well, but yeah.
But
But, yeah,
you know,
like, n Nori, I think everyone's come back down to more earth on Nori. He's still good, but not gonna be this power guy. I think
right,
that but yeah, like, it's probably like A-Rod was, like, saying, "Oh, Nori would be starting for so many teams," but, like, Nori's dad worked for A-Rod, so
right, yeah,
if people aren't aware, Nori's dad is a assistant coach on the Minnesota Timberwolves, which A-Rod now owns.
yes. So a little bit of a bias there, but I mean, it's good to get some hype about a Phillies
Oh,
prospect,
yeah, no,
especially
it's fun, but it's like a full of like, people, like, don't take that as gospel, that
right, right. Um, One thing, I don't know if you heard this. This is a few weeks old at this point, but kind of about the spring breakout. Um, there's going to be like a single elimination spring breakout tournament that's getting played in 2027 and 2028. There's going to be like one
yeah,
tournament for the Grapefruit League, one for the Cactus League. Um, so like that's going to be interesting.
yeah, why
I
not?
think
Like,
it'll at least add some like spice to the spring breakout games, which I think overall MLB does like a pretty good job of broadcasting them and kind of giving attention to them. And I know some people get super excited about them to watch these prospects. Um, so why not? Anything to like spice up spring training a little bit.
yeah, yeah, well, yeah, let the prospects feel some adrenaline, get some good
Yeah.
stuff going. Yeah, nothing wrong
In
with there's nothing wrong with that. Of all the things they're doing.
in some more serious news, there was a scary medical event today at Phillies camp. Reliever Daniel Robert, who had a cardiovascular event last year that caused him to like miss time and show up late to spring training, he went down during his first bullpen of the spring after grabbing his chest. He was sitting up and conscious eventually, surrounded by medical personnel. And we have an update from the Phillies that he is stable and alert. He was taken to a local hospital, and his implantable defibrillator was triggered, and doctors are
Jeez.
reviewing what's going on.
Yeah, thank God he's okay, but, I don't think he's gonna pitch again.
Yeah, it's just an unbelievably scary thing to witness. I'm sure for all of the players, a terrible thing for him to experience, right? And and hopefully he is okay, and hopefully he can take care of himself. He didn't look all that bad last year in like the little bit that he pitched with the Phillies. You know, not the greatest bullpen pitcher of all time, but He
Yeah,
seemed,
no, it was more like why it was more like what we gave up for him. It was just like why.
yeah, no, but he seemed serviceable. Um, but hopefully everything is okay with him.
Yeah, that's it. Gary. And
Yeah,
yeah, and then on I guess happier life news, Painter got engaged. Woo.
there we go. Congratulations to Andrew Painter. They grow up so fast, don't
I know he's still only 22.
they? Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Phillies also did make a trade in the last few days. They made a trade with the Guardians, which apparently they haven't made a trade with the
Oh yeah.
Guardians since 2015. So it's been 11 years. But Carter Kieboom, like the former big Washington Nationals prospect, back like kind of like the COVID era, um, he is on the Phillies now. I don't think there's really been any word on what the Phillies gave up. Probably like just
No,
cash.
there's gotta be nothing. Yeah, because like he wasn't even hitting in spring training. So yeah,
Yeah,
like
so
he yeah talk about this opportunity, but not be able to hit with his name.
yeah, just like a organizational depth piece. I thought he was going to be so good. Like, he was like
Everyone
a
did.
giant prospect. I think he was like a top 20 prospect,
One,
right?
yeah, he was like top 20. Yeah, I mean, big guy, right-handed, pace, but then he just whatever. I don't know if he got injured but yeah,
He
lamed out.
um he somehow figured out in 8 at bats last year to have negative .3 baseball reference score, which is impressive.
I mean, speaking of failed Nationals prospects, Dylan Cruz got optioned, didn't he? Like had like a 55% pop-up rate in spring.
It's I have no idea what's going on with the Nationals. I
They
know
like
that
they
it's
broke him. They drafted him. He was put like everyone was like wasn't sure who was good drafted number one, Skeens or like Cruz, and they somehow broke Cruz.
I know that it's been like reported and in like all the athletic surveys that they're like one of the least, if not the least, analytically adept team. Now that's probably changing now under former Phillies front office member Alex Colombi. But you have to think that has some kind of impact in this, maybe in like the way that they've been drafting and developing, or maybe the way that they've been teaching the players. For whatever people want to say about it, analytics are an important way that players are developed now, and they matter. And I don't know. I thought Dylan Cruz was going to be so good. A part of me still thinks he is going to be so good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just you never know with prospects. You never know.
He's still only going into his age 24 season. Crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, and Jason Dominguez was adopted by the Yankees. They probably should have traded him for I forgot who was. Wasn't it Juan Soto they didn't want to trade for?
Well, they got Juan Soto anyways for
Yeah,
a
and
little
they
bit,
did. Yeah, I
right?
know. Yeah, but I forgot there's another big player they didn't trade for.
That feels like it was so long. That was probably like 21 or 22. Because he was like, I remember that was like the COVID era that he was like the hottest baseball card that you could get. Like if you pulled like a Jason Dominguez first Bowman card, like you could sell that shit for like hundreds of dollars. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, before analytics, there was the problem of everyone overrating Yankees prospects.
Yeah.
Billy Hughes was supposed to be the great starting pitcher. Remember, the Jabba rules. Yeah. So this is a time honored tradition of Yankees being overrated.
Well, it's also good to remember too sometimes because I think we can get like super Phillies centric, obviously. But it's good to remember sometimes that like other teams have prospects that fail too. It's not just the
Yeah,
Phillies that have had like
it's just the Dodgers that are good at Dodgers and Rays are good at.
yeah, yeah. The vast majority of teams, they are not turning dirt into diamonds out here. So, all right. Um, that was a lot of news. There truly has been a lot going on over this last week for the Phillies. Um, We have another like season preview episode, series preview as well, because we're now just 4 days away from the regular season starting.
Woo!
So we'll table that discussion for that episode coming out early this week. But anything else, Jeremy, for like this kind of news episode today?
No, no. I mean, just looking. I don't know. Excited. I'm all in the team now. I'm excited.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can't break now.
One little thing, Zach Wheeler is throwing bullpens. I think he's been saying that he's throwing like in like the 90s, like 93, 94. I'm sure he's ramping up and stuff like that. So we'll see. But it does look like he might be on track to make a return before the end of April, which would be great news.
That'd be great. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It seems like he's gonna be back really soon, which is, I mean, and just turn off the whole pitching staff.
Yeah, it's all you could hope for. I think that as long as like both Walker and Painter are in the rotation, it's going to be a little bit scary. There's going to be some concerns because I think either of those guys could potentially fall off of a cliff. But it is going to be great, even if you get like 80% of Painter, right? Like that is a better team.
Yeah. Danger is perfectly fine.
Yes, yes. So
And no, I mean, and Noah's velocity somehow looks back. He said he's been apparently doing long toss again, which he credits. So
do your long toss, kids.
yeah, I know. I don't know why they all these old things that put pitchers that used to pitch 300 plus innings, they don't do anymore. I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't.
Yeah, I feel like it's like pretty well known that like long toss is what builds up arm strength and builds velocity. Like that was a big thing that
Yeah, yeah,
like my high school coaches would tell us about. Like it's crazy.
yeah. And it doesn't have to be hard on you. You just throw the yeah. It's not like you're pitching with your motion.
Yeah, you're just throwing the ball. It's weird, very weird. But overall, I do trust like the Phillies development, and this doesn't change that for me. So,
No,
all right.
yeah.
Well, we will check back in. We'll get an episode out sometime early this week, Jeremy. It's
Wait. Before you leave, let's see where you're heading to your fantasy draft. Who's your tell people your fantasy sleepers for the year?
oh gosh. One guy that I think is like a lot better than his ADP is Brian Wu. Brian Wu is like not getting drafted super early. In a lot of cases, I think he's getting drafted like behind Gilbert. And I think that is incorrect. I would pick Wu above Gilbert. I think Robbie Ray is another guy that is getting really underdrafted this year. Like just like a regular starting pitcher that is average and takes the ball every fifth day is very valuable, I think, for fantasy. And Robbie Ray does that, and yet I think there's leagues that he's not even getting drafted in, right? So what about you?
Every year I say I'm going to get back into fantasy baseball, and I just never do.
Okay.
Just, one of the, yeah, yeah. Fantasy football is just so much easy. Check do it like once or twice a week. Check it.
Yeah. I think the one I feel the worst about is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who by like
Oh
ADP
yeah.
is like I think number 13. No, number 11. He's number 11 by ADP this year. And I think that
Oh,
is
that's not gonna. Yeah, I disagree with that.
I think that is
Yeah,
incorrect.
I don't think he'll be happy if he hits 30 home runs this year. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with him. I've already done one fantasy draft, but it's probably the league that I really care about that I still have to draft for. DeGrom has like an ADP of like 45. That seems like good value to me. Luzardo just behind
Yeah.
him. Tell you, for anybody that hasn't had a fantasy baseball draft yet, I'm guessing by the time that this is up, because I'm going to get this up right after we're done recording. Pitching is what wins fantasy championships. Like, if you have good pitching, starting pitching especially, you'll be fine. Like, I think it is totally okay to spend like your first 3 rounds all picking starting pitchers.
Yeah, you got to hear, folks. The inside our Phillies tips.
Maybe we'll have to have a podcast fantasy league next year. We'll see. But thank you for joining us, Jeremy.
I'm down for that. No problem. I can't wait till we get to do the preview. I mean, probably do that release of like the day of the season.
Yeah,
Everyone
well,
gets hyped before the game.
at least a little bit before. Try to get it out. I don't know, Wednesday at the latest. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, thank everybody for listening, and we will talk to you in a few days.
Bye.